Hey, the next module, the ad teardown. This is where it gets visually exciting. This is where we are going to be looking at ads, breaking down the ads, look at different ways of using ads and the functionalities that an ad offer on Facebook, on Instagram, and Google Display. All right, let's get into it. This is a company that I really like. One pro tip, if I have to give you, it is all about looking at the right inspirations. Okay. So you don't have to, that is what my approach has been all my life. I look at the right inspiration that has certainly helped in many different uh, places, in many different ways. So this is one company that I always admire. They put out something that is so simple and so native to the platform that looking at the ad that you can tell that this is a successful ad for them. You know, so this company is called Honey. Honey is a Chrome extension that automatically applies coupon code in any of the e-commerce website while you're checking out. A brilliant product in first place, and their marketing is even more brilliant. If you look at these templates, it is something that is actually easy for a performance marketer without design background to make. Uh, it is actually nothing for a graphic designer. And if you are somebody who is design oriented, you might be wondering, what the hell is this? It looks like a meme. How does it work? Let me tell you, my friend, an ad creative that always works is something that is native looking to that platform. For example, this ad pops up on a Facebook newsfeed for somebody, and people are just scrolling through their Facebook newsfeed, and this one pretty much looks like the content that they will see on their newsfeed and not like an ad. Okay, pro tip. If you can make content native to the platform, if you make it look like what the content that they typically see, then it is going to deliver a really good performance for you, at least from an ad perspective, at least from people watching that video, people clicking through, at least from that perspective, it works very well. Let's break this down. Let's look at what Honey has done nicely that we can learn from. Okay. So I've just taken up the Facebook ad snapshot of Honey. The way you should look at an ad is it's not just the image, not just the copy. All of these things need to come together. For example, this is what people generally notice because it occupies the bigger real estate, right? Let me show you this is the visual. This can be either a static image or a video, right? So this is what people generally notice. This is where they stop scrolling and they look at what this person has to say, right? This looks like a meme template, so people typically pay attention to something like this. Very easy to make, and if your brand permits, many of the times, if you are working for larger brands, they do not let you make something like this. But if you're working for a mid-sized startup brand, you can definitely go ahead and make a meme style template. All right. So this is what get people to stop and take notice. So cracking this is very, very important. The second thing that people generally look at is the headline. I know a lot of you may not have been paying attention to headline at all, but people look at this. I have done a lot of focus group case studies, talking to people, showing them different ads, how they are looking at an ad. What is the first thing that they look at? What is the second thing they look at? At what given point of time they decide to click on an ad, right? All these things we have done a lot of times. So people generally typically look at here, because that is right below the image. If this is interesting, then people will come to the caption as well. You might be a marketer who is doing it the other way around, but the general people, who is not exposed to marketing, they typically look at this way. Image captures their attention, then the headline, then they go about and read if there is anything else. But most of the time, we spend most of our time and energy here. But this actually is a secondary thing, at least the secondary thing, if not the tertiary thing. People look at this first and then they may look at caption, but most likely they'll be looking at this headline. Now, Facebook gives you two options, right? It gives you a headline and a preview option as well, a small text, a subtext below the headline. A lot of people do not even fill this up, but especially on desktop, this is a real estate that you're literally wasting, right? How people use this section is here is where they communicate the value proposition of their product or the company. Value proposition can exist for a company and for a product. It doesn't have to be the same thing. For example, Infosys as a software company, they might have a company level value proposition saying that we have the best software engineers on the planet, or they have a product specific value proposition as well. They have. I was aware of their product called Trade Edge. Trade Edge is meant for retail industry. Now, trade edge can talk about boost your um, retail effectiveness or increase market share for your company, some value proposition like that. Now, that is not really Infosys value proposition that is meant for that product. Similarly, you can have a company, the company can have a value proposition in terms of what type of company you are. Then your product can have a value proposition as well. This particular section is used to tell your value proposition, that what kind of value that you're offering to people. If you look at what Honey has done here, you could save on food delivery with Honey. That's value. People would have never thought that, except the coupons that is natively provided in the platform. People generally do not think about any other ways of saving on food delivery. So first of all, they're talking about the value, and the sub headline, they have used it to expand on that value. Hey, this is a free tool that searches for deals at almost 30,000 websites, right? So in case if you have not been utilizing this area, please do that. Why do you want to waste real estate when that real estate is being given to you? On mobile devices, maybe it is not a good idea, but if you are running focused ads, if you get a lot of traction on desktop, you should definitely be making use of this real estate. Then final thing, this is the caption or post copy, they call it. Again, if people refer to these things in different way, get used to the jargons. This is called a creative copy because this is a copy, the line that comes on the creative, on the visual. This is called a post copy. That is what most of the marketers refer to as, but we call it caption as well. We call it description as well. Many different names are given to it. So you can call this description or caption most likely, easier to remember. This is a creative copy, the copy that goes on the visual. And here is just a headline text and a sub headline text. Here is where you communicate the value proposition. You look at this ad and look how much you can learn. And if you play this video, they would have shown you how the product actually works. They would have just shown you, okay, go ahead and install the extension. And, while you're at your checkout page, the extension automatically applies the best coupon possible, right? So this is showing a product in action. This is brilliant, and I'm 100% sure it is going to work. Look at the caption. There is this big debate, right? Should I write really long? Should I write really short? We will talk about that a little later in this module. But long answer short, you can do both. And it doesn't matter what you think or I think. The data will always tell you the truth, what is working for you. Okay. Now the next one, very similar, another company that I really admire is called Verb Energy. Now Verb Energy is a healthy snack alternative. If you look at this, they have put together this really nice visual that talks about 90 calories, nothing like that. I mean, 90 calories is very less, and this looks like a chocolate bar, right? And people would really want to know, what is this chocolate bar that is actually giving me, that is only 90 calories. Then there is a strong value proposition that talks about your daily energy essential, which means what they're saying that this is, if you take this, that will take care of your energy limit for that. And if you're low on energy, this might give you an energy. And the subtext they've used just as free shipping. This is another very good idea. If you have something like a free shipping or a lifetime offer or a discount, this is actually a good place to call it out. What is that additional value that you're offering? Okay. Then, of course, the caption, where we spend most of the energy, but it is generally the second or third thing that people look at. So they have written a decent copy, neither too short, nor too long. It's a decent enough copy. It talks about the kiss coffee jitters and unwanted calories goodbye, which means kiss calories goodbye, say hello to Verb Energy. This particular communication is meant for both unaware and problem aware audiences. Unaware audiences are people who do not really, who are not really thinking about calorie cutting. Where problem aware people are aware that they need to cut down on calories, and they might have been used to snacks already, so they might be looking for healthy snacks alternative. So this is meant for both unaware and problem aware audiences. Look at this particular ad. This is where it gets really exciting. It's something that is really easy. This is just a tweet snapshot. This is a customer testimonial where they talk about, hey, she bought the starter pack for only $10. She got about 16 bars to try. This is actually a real voice of a customer. You can actually take up a Facebook preview or a Twitter preview, right? Or you can make this up, based on the testimonial that they may have given. Sometimes if you're trying to generate a preview and then taking a screenshot and putting it may not work. So you can just maintain this kind of a format where you're putting the profile icon with their handle so that it looks authentic. Then you can actually put the text and create this graphic, right? Very easy to make on Canva, on Adobe Spark, Trello, whatever tool that you have. It's very easy to make. This one also is relatively easy to make. Look at, if I have to pay attention and take inspiration, what I would do is, it's very easy. This is an opportunity for me to put my blog. This is where they have inverted the product slightly, towards the left, about 45-degree angle, 90-degree angle, sorry. Uh, uh, yeah, so I would take inspiration saying that, okay, I can actually show my product in an inverted position. It still makes sense. So why don't I do that, right? So this is a template that I will take inspiration, store it in my swipe file, and whenever I'm running out of ideas, I'll just quickly refer to this template. Change the color, change the logo. It will look unique for you. Change the product. It will look completely different from what it is. There is nothing wrong in copying templates, my friends. Just don't literally copy paste, including the colors, including the fonts, everything. Do a little bit of modification based on whatever you're trying to sell. Okay. So the next one is another favorite brand of mine. It's called Magic Spoon Cereal. If you really want to uh, get inspiration, this is an example that you should always look at. Very colorful, very meme style, TikTok style ads is what they run. If you look at this, this is a TikTok. This is what people do on TikTok, right? Wherein they do some really stupid stuff with some jazzy buttons and colors. I don't use TikTok, so but if you are somebody who's using TikTok, you might know, the format that TikTok offers. This one is very interesting. This is a press feature that they have gotten, right? And this is a Forbes feature that they have gotten. They're just featuring it. So if in case if you have gotten featured in different magazines or websites, this is actually a good one. This you can use it for unaware and problem aware audiences. You can use it mid funnel also, because if somebody like Forbes is talking, it's talking about this is the future of cereal, then people will definitely pay attention to it. And I can actually target it to the followers of Forbes, add a little bit of interest like cereal and breakfast and stuff like that, and add another country where I'm trying to sell, right? And you have your ad ready. If you look at, if I have to break this ad down, it may look slightly complicated. It is not actually. They have put a background image. Okay. Then there is a white box on top of it. Then they have taken the mobile preview of Forbes, which is exactly that. And then just put it done. I'm sure Forbes may not look like this. In that case, you just use the title. You can create this title separately. You can put the author name and you can use your own visual graphic. Then it's completely fine. As long as Forbes has featured you and they have called you as the future of cereal, you can definitely do that. This is another interesting form of ad wherein it offers value upfront. Wherein whenever there's a video, right, you'll have to go through at least half of the video or full video to get some value. Here they're putting some value upfront. You will stay full for longer. It doesn't taste like cardboard. You don't have to prep or cook for it. Typically the things that you would want to put in the caption, they put it out in the graphic, in the creative. But this is again a clutter breaking ad, which means people will suddenly stop scrolling and they will look at it. Hey, this looks different, right? If you remember what we have discussed in the workshop, we discussed about this pattern interrupt ads. Now, all these ads are pattern interrupt ads. It interrupts your pattern. Okay. This is a media feature. This is a listicle format of an ad, vertical format. This is a TikTok styled creative. So these are very, very easy to make. You don't really need a graphic designer to make these kind of creatives. Yeah. But taking the right inspiration from right people is very important. And do not literally copy paste. Take inspiration and make your own version of it. Yeah. So that is one. Now let's look at an Instagram ad. Let's break down an Instagram ad, right? This is from a company called Beautiful.ai. They make this is a software that lets making presentations easier. It's an AI software that'll help you with making your presentations beautiful. Again, in Instagram, unlike Facebook, you don't get the headline, you don't get the preview, right? You only get the image and you get the caption. In this case, what you have to do, the image will have to do the job of a headline also, right? What does a headline do? A headline is where you communicate your value proposition, where you communicate your offer. Your image will have to do that job. So here they have used something really striking that will take attention, because suck is a word that will definitely get your attention if on your newsfeed. So PowerPoint is a time suck. It very clearly tells what their product is. What they're trying to tell you, that don't use PowerPoint to make presentation. You can switch to our product for free today, which is switch for free. Is a risk-free call to action. They're not saying starts at $10. They're saying switch for free today. What I would have probably done is, I would have probably made a carousel where I would have shown a few examples, but this is not a bad ad at all. It does the job very well. It captures the attention, nice color, and they've used the word time suck so that it doesn't sound inappropriate. So time suck, which means, it consumes a lot of your time. The call to action here itself, but people don't generally click on it, and the call to action button is usually here. Okay. So in Instagram ad, it is pretty much similar kind of a breakdown, but it's just that there is no headline. So you'll have to communicate your value proposition in the visual. Okay. This is an ad format that works for both Facebook and Instagram, right? If you look at it, this is actually a Facebook ad, but even if I cut down on the headline and sub headline and this entire section, this will work for Instagram as well. What is this trying to do? It is actually an image, and there is a strong value proposition on that image. And of course, the caption does the regular job. It won't look like this on Instagram. The caption will come at the bottom, but I think you get the idea here. The reason I like this ad because it's very natural photograph. Okay. Generally, when you look at the mattress ad, people generally do that 3D shot or heavy production shot images, right? But this is how your mattress looks like. It is messy when you wake up. So people are able to relate to it more than actually looking at an ad that shows a mattress in a very artificial way. So first of all, it's doing a pretty good job in visual, and it is communicating a very strong value proposition upfront, and there is a caption. This one can work very well as both a Facebook ad and an Instagram ad. Okay. This is a display ad, another company that I really admire for their advertising and copies. It's MailChimp. Okay. In display ads, you don't get neither, right? It's you don't get a caption, you don't get a headline and a subtext. You don't get that at all. So the ad will have to do all the three jobs. It has to get attention. It has to give value proposition very strongly. It has to give a risk-free call to action, right? If you look at this particular image, this is actually a very attractive image. They have used an animal, and as if like animal is looking at it. And it's a very strong value proposition communicated nicely. Take your business online with a free shoppable landing page. I can actually target unaware audiences as well, people who are not yet thinking about going online. I can talk to problem aware audiences as well, people who knows that they have to open up an online business, but they don't know how. So this works. This is again another good example, interesting visual that talks about targeting the right customer with the right message. Again, gets your attention, bright colors, brilliant imagery, and then a good call to action. Get started. Not really a great call to action. I would probably say get started for free would have been an appropriate one, or get started for $1. That would have been a good one. This is a little plain, but otherwise they have done a pretty good job, right? This is more variations of the same thing. If you look at it, they're trying to sell the same product. They're trying to sell the same product. Here, if you look at it, they're talking about multiply your marketing efforts for free. This is something that I can give it to a middle of the funnel audience, or somebody who is problem aware, or somebody who is solution aware might have known MailChimp. This works for everybody, may not necessarily for somebody who is unaware. It can actually work. If somebody is not thinking about automating marketing efforts or multiplying the effort, this can still work for them. The same thing, it works for the free users. For somebody who's taken up the free plan but does not get upgraded, you can use this visual, multiply your marketing efforts for that $9 per month. Somebody has utilized your free version, but they haven't bought it. You can use this as well. This is another format of the same ad, a really good visual. It talks about putting your marketing on autopilot with a good call to action. Slightly B2B-ish, saying that put your marketing on autopilot. But if you're in marketing, if you know that there is a possibility of automating a few marketing functions, you might react to this as well. But look at the visual congruency, very attractive images, the color consistency, very bold headlines, which can communicate value proposition as well. Decent call to action, if not a risk-free call to action, works pretty well. Here is something that I wanted to leave you with after the last module. We looked at some of the best ad examples that I personally admire. But it is very important for you to understand the specifications and the new ad units offered by each of these channels, right? And especially social, you need to be understanding what are the new ad units and what is that something that you can try for the first time. Yeah. So here is a resource that I constantly go to. One is Facebook Ads Guide. It comes from Facebook. You can always trust that information. Very basic information, but actually pretty useful. Okay. So if you see, you get to know the specifications. If you just click on image, you'll get what type of a file formats are accepted, what should be the resolution, what is the recommended character limit, all of that you get here. Similarly, you can go check video, carousel, everything, and you can actually change the placement as well to understand if the specifications vary. That's really important for you to understand. Many times, what people do is they use the same creative for everything. You must have noticed several Instagram stories, right? That has a lot of black in the top and bottom, and only the creatives in the middle, because Instagram used a Facebook Square ad, and that gentleman has selected Instagram story as a placement as well. So Instagram did not have an option. They ended up showing the same creative. But when you do something native to that platform, when you follow the specifications, you automatically increase the chances of your success. Which is why I always say, whenever you create a campaign, do it for all the specifications, depending upon the placements you want to target. For example, if you're targeting only Facebook, then you can just look at, Facebook feed, right? Facebook's feed as a specification, but, create it for all dimensions. If you want to select Instagram, then create it for Instagram stories, Instagram feed, Instagram explore. Please do that. So when you do that, you always increase the chances of your success. That's very important. Okay. So this is one thing that I keep going back to. Another thing that I keep going back to is this, because even the best of the creators out there, even after having so much of experience, you will always hit a roadblock in terms of what else can I do, especially with creatives, because the general recommendations that you get when your campaigns are not performing is change the creative, right? And you will be thinking of, okay, what creative, what different angle. And whenever I am faced with that kind of a situation, I usually come to this place, facebook.com/business/inspiration. And again, just for Facebook ad inspiration, and it should lead you here. Here you'll get some of the best creative guys. I mean, it's mind-blowing creative options. You'll get video options across all the formats. You can just keep clicking on it, and it'll keep on showing you more creatives. Okay. And here, you can actually go to leaderboard to understand what is the best performing creative. This is more like editor's pick, and this is more like the best performing creative based on data. So you can again keep looking at it. You can go back in month, what was best performing in June, what was best performing in May 2020. It's just brilliant. Let's just look at this. It's not very difficult to make something like this. Everlane is another brand I always look up to for inspiration. They do brilliant ads. If you just look at that ad, it is nothing but a good photograph, but for obvious reasons, it is actually getting a lot of traction. Your best but minus the waist gap. A little flowery copy for my liking, but it is definitely top performing for a good photograph and not too much of a clutter. Yeah. And yeah, there's something for Tenet. You'll keep digging more, you'll find a lot of inspiration. I mean, this is a fantastic place where I keep going back all the time, at least once every 2 days, to just refresh my memory. And when you look at a couple of ads, you'll automatically get ideas. There is no standard framework or something to come up with ideas. Even the best of the writers out there, they will always say, just keep reading. Just keep reading. Consume all of that information. Then you go shut yourself off. Suddenly you will get that one idea, and then you come back and produce that idea. That is a simple framework that most of the biggest legends talk about. So the more you consume, the more you read, I think you will never face any creative blocks, and it'll always keep on giving you fresher angles. Okay. Another thing that I constantly refer to from a specification perspective is Sprout Social. Sprout Social is a social media listening, management, and reporting platform. For beginners out there, this, if you're just starting, if you want to know more about social media marketing, advertising, different channels, Sprout Social is a fantastic place. They have great resources and a great blog where they always keep talking about the newer stuff that is happening in all these social media channels. So here you literally get specifications for all type of ads in almost all the popular channels: Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn. These are the most popular social media networks, right? Who they don't have. I don't think who has advertising yet. Anyway, so you get ad specifications for most of the channels. You just click on it, you go there. They will actually tell you how it looks like, a mock of how it looks like, and all the specifications, everything, every little thing. Just keep this as a reference. But again, you can also go to spout source resources to check out multiple things that they keep on publishing. They publish some really good, lengthy, useful blogs. These people are the best when it comes to social media marketing. Apart from, of course, Social Media Examiner, they have a pretty good blog. Check it out. So those are a couple of resources that I wanted to leave you with. Uh, this is another resource that I keep on going back to every time when I'm stuck. This is actually a good collection of ads, and Ad Espresso is your PPC automation software, and they're pretty specialized for Facebook ads, but I think they can actually help you automate Google ads as well, and for reporting. Now, this also has some of the best examples, and it always tells me that what is great about this. This is what I pay attention to, because when I look at it, I make my own perception. If I really want to understand the opinion of someone else, I would want to read something like this. So they're talking about short and straightforward copy, works very well, eye-catching image, good cute dog, and an effective landing page. I don't get to see a landing page. Let me click on it. Yes, I get to see a landing page as well. Oh, but this is taking me to my Airtable account. Well, it's not really taking me to a landing page. Anyway, so ClassPass is a fantastic company. Again, very simple, very elegant photographs with a very minor copy. That's what they do, mostly photographs. So ClassPass is a fantastic company if you want to take inspiration. Airtable, of course. Ways, I haven't really checked much about them, but Headspace, you might have noticed me talking about Headspace and Calm a lot of time. These guys are masters when it comes to copy, visuals, and creative as a whole. Brilliant ones. New Yorker, Tokyo Treat, I don't know, but you get the idea. So you just keep digging for inspiration, and you should just know where to look at for what. Let me give you a pro tip here. The best performing creative is just a photograph. Okay, it's not really jazzy colors and stuff like that. Just photographs work very well. Reviews in the creative work very well with star ratings. You'll have to tread that line carefully, but sometimes Facebook bans you from promoting 5-star reviews. Other formats, social media format that people are familiar with, like a tweet preview or a TikTok styled ad or an IKEA styled ad, those things work pretty well. And all of this, and I always keep taking inspiration from some of these people, because I really don't have time sometimes to keep reading up. So all I do is just go check them out once in a while. Any new formats that they might be trying, and I immediately give that instructions to my team. Hey, why don't we try this format? Sometimes it ends up working, sometimes it doesn't end up working, doesn't matter. Unless you try it, you'll never know. Yeah. So that is another resource that I keep going back to. Few more tips that I wanted to give you is when it comes to ads, do not do this. Like, shouting flash sale, unless you're actually doing genuinely a flash sale, do not just do it every time, because people will start discounting your brand that, you keep doing flash sale all the time. So do it very properly. Discount up to 80%. Don't do that. Uh, it may work if you are a discounting brand, but if you really want to build your brand for long-term success, do not offer your products at this kind of a price. Because if you are offering something at 80% discount, people will assume that, okay, so earlier you were selling it at a higher price than what you deserve. Yeah. And don't do this. Buy my product right now. Fill up my form. Call me now. Just don't do this. Yeah. If people like the value proposition, you don't have to shout. They will take that action. Okay. When you shout out loud, it actually irritates them. It sounds like an ad to them. Nobody likes being sold to. Okay. So just let them take that call. If the value proposition is interesting, if the offer is interesting, if your visual is interesting, people will automatically do. You don't have to say, buy this, fill up my form, call me now. There are a few areas where you will have to do, but try and not do this. Try and not do this repeatedly. Okay. Another important thing that I wanted to say, I think I just talked about it quickly as well. Do not ever start a relationship with the customer using discounts. Okay, you are now aware of the 5 different stages of audiences, all the way from unaware to becoming most aware. Top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. Your P1, P2, P3. Whenever you're talking to a potential customer for the first time, do not say 40% off. Do not say 60% off. Let customers understand the value of your product. Only then they will appreciate the discount. If you start a relationship with a discount, they just don't appreciate. They will completely form a different perception of you. And that's not going to help you in the longer run. You'll end up killing up your brand. Tomorrow you will be faced with the challenge of increasing your average order value, which means on an average you might be doing a transaction of 1,000 or 1,200, but as your advertising costs go up, you will be left with no option apart from increasing your average order value, which means you need to go from getting the customer from 1,000 rupees to 2,000 rupees, which means customers willing to transact about 2,000 rupees with you. When you do not really command a good strong presence, you will struggle to increase your average order value. You will lose your customers to competition because customers will eventually make up that perception that you'll always hike up the price during sale and sell it at a discount, or your product is not really worth that much. So if you don't have a strong brand, you will lose your customer, to competition. You will never have brand advocates who will rave about you. I do not know how many of you rave about some of these discounting brands. Do you rave about that? I would be really interested to know if you rave about some of these discounting brands. Please drop it in the comment right below this video. Just curious to understand if you really rave about some of these discounting brands. But as far as what I have seen, uh, you will never have brand advocates, if you're somebody who is playing around with percentage discounts here and there. Yeah. So you need to understand why people go to a specific channel. Generally what happens with marketers is we straight away jump on a platform, we put out an ad out there that screams like an ad, right? Uh, buy this product. This product is available at this price. This product can do this for you. It's a very product thinking. I know you love your product, all of us do, but that is what goes against in our favor, right? So understand why people go to a specific channel. Why do people go to Google? Right? To get inspired, to get ideas, to actually execute something, they need help. That is why they go to Google. Understand why they go to a channel. Okay. Why do people go to Facebook or Instagram? People go to Facebook and Instagram to connect with other folks, to follow the people that they like, to just catch up on what is happening in everybody's life. They're not going to Facebook and Instagram to buy a product. Okay. So when you're showing up on their newsfeed, you better create something that is relatable to them, that is something native to the platform, that is very engaging in nature. We will talk about a lot more examples, right? But you need to understand why people go there in first place. And what would an unaware audience want from you? What would a most aware audience want from you? You need to clearly understand that so you can communicate accordingly, right? And we already talked about a bunch of these examples that I personally look at for admirations, and you can do that too. Now, what you can do is if you feel some brands are really doing their Facebook ads very well, that is extraordinary, that is engaging, you just don't feel like not clicking on it, right? If you know some brands like that, put that brand in the comment right below this video. And again, we will also create an ad inspiration channel in the community so you can keep sharing that. So the more we get inspired, the more we learn, the better ads we create. Yeah. I'll see you in the next chapter.